Shalom. I would like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well, teach this truth in all honesty and sincerity. Salutations to you brothers around the four corners of the earth that teach this truth and risk your lives and freedom to do so. Mr. Brother Azor coming from GMS St. Louis with another video. Felt the need to put this out there. I hear murmuring amongst Israel and just the talk, social media, and her overheard conversations. Like why us? Everybody in the uproar about the mistreatment of what our people Israel are going through, and it's an explanation for it. Why us has been what I've been hearing. Why us? If we're God's chosen people, then why we going through the things we going through? Why we getting shot down? Why this? Why that? But the scriptures explain it perfectly. Why? The Lord gave us a choice. He put before us life and death. And our people agreed that they wanted life, but they went off into the path of death. And that's what you see befalling on our people. Death, destruction, mistreatment. But it's judgment from the Most High. I'm gonna jump to the book of Psalms, chapter 81. And I'll start at verse 7. Thou callest in trouble, and I delivered thee. This is the Lord talking. I answered thee in the secret place of thunder. I proved thee at the waters of Meribah. Selah. Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto thee. O Israel, if thou wilt hearken unto me, there shall no strange God be in thee. Neither shalt thou worship any strange God. A strange God would be this Jesus character. That's not, blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, leprosy, clean leprosy. That's a strange God unto our people. Yahweh Shai, who the Bible speaks of, was a dark-skinned man with woolly afro and dark brown skin. The scriptures tell us that. But what are our people worshiping? They're worshiping the God of their slave master. That's a strange God. That's a false idol. Cesare Borgia, who quote unquote Jesus go back to. And you can look up the history of the Borgias. They have a TV series on it and on Netflix called The Borgias. But that's a strange God. Verse 10, I am the Lord thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsel. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversary. The haters of the Lord should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever. He should have fed them also with the finest of wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee. But the Lord is saying, our people didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord. Didn't hearken to the law, statutes, and commandments. Didn't follow in his ways, so he sent the adversaries against us. Remember, the Lord he controls both sides, good and evil. So the evil that befalls upon our people is directly from the Most High. But he uses Esau and the other nations to punish us. I'll jump to Jeremiah, the 29th chapter. Yeah, 29 and I'm starting at verse 17. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. And I will persecute them with the sword, with the famine, and with the pestilence, and will deliver them to be removed to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a curse and an astonishment, and hissing and a reproach among all the nations whither I have driven them. The nation of Israel is scattered. The Negroes, Latinos, or so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, are scattered around the earth. And it's a curse to, to kind of look like the other nations. But that's a punishment that Israel had to bear because of the captivities we went in. Dealing with different women of the nations, and the seed comes out not looking like the typical Israelite from their respective tribes. Because they have not hearkened to my word, saith the Lord, which I sent unto them by my servants the prophets. And all through history, the Lord has set up prophets to go and speak to the nation of Israel. And you always have the 2/3 that do not want to listen. But the Lord always kept a remnant that would adhere to his word, man. But we went into captivity as a nation. The Lord judges nations. Yeah, he sends individual judgments to people, but when it comes time for the nations to be judged, he judges them as a whole. Rising up early and sending them, but ye would not hear, said the Lord. The Lord has prophets on the streets, man. You can't go to a major city, and not hear about the prophets on the highways and byways bringing out the truth of the scriptures, telling our people to repent and turn back to the Most High, man, to the Heavenly Father Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. The people don't want to listen. They want to talk about what they feel and what they think should be and this and that and loving everybody and all. They not listening to what the Lord has to say, man. And this is a way that the Lord stretches out his arm. This is the way he extends his arm to bring you back. But our people don't want to hear that. That hard-headed, stiff-necked people. Verse 20. Hear ye therefore the word of the Lord, all ye of the captivity whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babylon. Jerusalem is our homeland, not Africa. That was a place of refuge where some of our people still dwell today. But Jerusalem is our homeland. That is our inheritance from the Lord. That's our land. And America's not the only captivity we've been in. There has been Babylon, which the scriptures just mentioned, Assyria, the Roman captivity, Egyptian captivity. So our people not strangers to being in this position. But this will be the last captivity. But the point is, the Lord is our iniquity and our transgressions against the Most High is why we're in this condition. And all our people have to do is come back to the Most High. adhere to his ways and say to hell with what Esau's saying. Because Esau makes it easy to do wickedness in this place. Try to do the right thing in this place and see how much resistance you have. I'm gonna jump to the book of Leviticus real quick. The 26th chapter. I'll start at verse 2. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield her fruit. And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time. And ye shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. Why are we not dwelling in our land? Why are we not safe out here? Why is our life hanging in the balance? You don't know if you're gonna be shot down or locked up or whatever. You don't know when evil gonna befall you in this place. But it's because our people did not walk in the ways of the Most High. I jump down to verse 11. And I will set my tabernacle amongst you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and I will be your God, your power, and ye shall be my people. But that's the contract. And our people did not uphold our end of the contract. Jump to verse 28. Verse 27, Salakia. And if ye will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury. And I will chastise you 7 times for your sins, and ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your images, and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. And I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. And I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors, and I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. This is the side of the Most High that is not talked about in the church houses. They not telling you about the fury of the Lord, about his anger when we transgress him. And it's the Lord that's sending all these things. But he's using the other nations, especially Esau, to bring down the judgment upon us. Just like he will use his elect men and his son to bring the judgment down on the heathens, especially Esau, for the furthering of our affliction when it had an end. The level of hatred they had for us. Because there is a way that you're supposed to treat your captives or your slaves or your servants. Um, um, jump down to verse 37. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursue it, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. What do our people have to stand against Esau right now? All they doing is marching. All they doing is spraying Black Lives Matter on everything, but that's a psyop in itself, the whole BLM movement. But what do our people have to stand against our enemies? Nothing. Our only help comes from the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. You know, no one came to our aid when Jerusalem was getting sacked. You know, no one came to our rescue. You know, no one's really coming to our rescue in America. No one came over here and said, you are wrong, Esau, for treating the children of the Most High like this. But that's all according to prophecy, because we had to serve out our captivity for our transgressions against the Most High. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. Verse 39, and they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemy's land, and also in the iniquity of their fathers shall they pine away with them. Verse 40, if they shall confess the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Those are our forefathers. Because the blessing went from Abraham to Isaac unto Jacob, and Jacob's 12 sons. It didn't go to Esau. It went to Jacob. So we are in direct. We are bound by the scriptures, man. We don't follow this. It ain't. We done. Our life is way harder than it would be if you adhere to the word of the Lord. You know, the Lord said that if we if we confess our transgressions and admit that we walk contrary and accept our punishment for our iniquity, he gonna remember the covenants. Jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20. This is Ezekiel chapter 20, and I start at verse 5. And say unto them, thus said the Lord Yahweh, in the day when I chose Israel, and lifted up my hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt, when I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I am the Lord your power. In the day that I lifted up my hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt into a land that had espied for them, that I had espied for them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands, then said I unto them, Cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am the Lord your power. But they rebelled against me, and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abominations of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them, to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt. So the Lord sent these atrocities upon us for our iniquities and transgressions against him. But I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. And it's modern day Egypt, called America, or Babylon the Great, or the Great Whore. Our people still pollute the Most High's name, man. Don't follow the dietary laws and make excuses for it. Still committing adultery and make excuses for it. Just still worshiping idols, man, and make excuses for it. So that's why the Lord is that's why our people go through the things that we go through here in this land. It's a captivity for one, and our people just won't hear the word of the Lord. Verse 10, wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt, and brought them into the wilderness, and I gave them my statutes, and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. Moreover also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, and that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctified them. But the Lord even gave us Sabbath days to remember and to worship and to celebrate. I mean, not worship, but to celebrate in remembrance of what the Lord done for us. But our people rather celebrate the holidays and not the holy days of the heathen. Verse 13, but the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I said I would pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. Yeah, our people despise the Most High's holy days and his Sabbaths. His judgments and his statutes. You tell a nigga that getting a lining is against the scriptures and against your power, they gonna look at you like you crazy. You tell them eating pork is against the scriptures and against your power, they gonna look at you like you crazy. Our people, this is the reason why we are in this condition that we're in. Because our people won't adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us and told us to walk in. I'll say Shalom and Kwam Yasharala, and hopefully this lesson was edifying. Lord willing, I'll be back with the part 2. Shalom.